For millennia, humankind has told stories of things it did not understand. Fabled creatures, monsters in the dark, gods and devils high in the air and deep underground. And for as long as there were monsters, there have been heroes to fell them. But as we all well know, the fables of the past are just that. Or are they? Long ago, a group of mortal beings formed a collective known as the Custodians. Their mission was simple: hunt down and capture every demon which haunts the earth. Luckily for us, their mission was a success. They constructed a vault deep underground dubbed the Void from which none escape. Sealed with ancient magic and demonic symbols, the void was closed and the demons inside were rendered inert. The Custodians used the demons' magic against them, but in doing so, they ran the risk that a demon could one day open the void. So they swore an oath to guard the void and raised their children to do the same. Generations of Custodians guarded the void until the world forgot that monsters ever roamed the earth. Legend became myth, myth became fiction. Ghost stories around campfires, boogeymen lurking in the shadows. As the world moved on, civilization was built over the void and eventually a high school. The Custodians dwindled in number as the cause lost followers over the years. Those who were left decided the only thing they could do was to take up residency at the school to continue to guard the void and keep away any foolish enough to attempt to open it. They became janitors at the school by day and remained guardians by night. The other staff and the students thought them odd, but they were not there to make friends, only to protect the world and to clean the occasional spill in the hallway. Until one day, a young student snuck into the school at night and discovered a dark secret. Halloween night. Every Halloween night, the seal is weakened.
Halloween night. Every Halloween night, the signals are the strongest.
At night, the beast sleeps restlessly. On Halloween, even more so.
Tonight, I'm going to prove once and for all that the school is haunted. Tonight is my night. I can feel it. Somehow, the janitors are connected to it. It seems like they never leave the place, even at night. Rumor has it, one of them is a vampire and sleeps in locker 666. That's the unmarked locker that the school leaves unassigned every year. Probably superstition. All the kids that think I'm crazy will have to come to terms when I've actual evidence. I'll get footage of the ghosts, and if there is a vampire in there, I've got steaks and garlic. Stacia and her stupid friends won't be able to pick on me if I actually kill a vampire. I'll be the coolest kid in school. Shit! The coolest kid in history!
Poor kid. Sam Evans, just 16, sneaking around his high school on Halloween instead of being with friends or eating candy. Sam is obsessed with the paranormal, and as you might guess, draws the wrong kind of attention from his classmates. But Sam isn't actually wrong about the school being haunted. He had awaited this night for months and had studied the janitors' behaviors and knew their roots. Sam had turned on the TV in the lobby, knowing that anybody still in the school would likely be drawn there. He makes his way down the halls, following the beeps of his spectral analyzer, drawing him closer and closer to ghostly activity. Eventually, he comes up to the door to the boiler room, which is locked.
That one janitor isn't super bright, I don't think. Never says anything. I managed to sneak off with his key ring earlier today. This guy seriously has every key labeled. He must be dumber than he looks. Alright. No. Boiler room. Here we go.
Sam, of course, came prepared with the night vision camera. He began documenting, trying to capture the ghosts that surely haunt this room on film. But while exploring the back rooms, he discovers absolutely nothing. Disappointed, he turns to leave when he notices one of the keys on the ring is an old skeleton key.
I wonder what this goes to. Whatever.
As Sam steps out of the boiler room, his spectral analyzer suddenly goes wild with beeps and whistles. Snapping out of it, he begins scuttling down the halls with excitement. His eyes were glued to the piece of equipment, following the needle on the display. After some time, the device begins to go haywire, the needle jumping haphazardly until suddenly it shorts out with a puff of smoke.
Oh, no, please, no, not now. For the love of God, not now. I was almost there.
Sam stands in the silence for a moment, frustrated, but slowly he begins to realize there is a buzzing sound coming from his pocket. The skull-shaped key he noticed earlier is shifting around and glowing softly. It pulls him like a magnet toward a locker, but not any locker. The fabled locker 666. As Sam raises the key toward the locker, it pops open. Sam can't believe what he sees as he peers inside. The narrow opening widens into a much larger room. Sam can't help but step inside to investigate.
Oh, this is like straight out of a comic book. Like every superhero's secret lair. Holy shit, there's swords along the walls. And is that... There's actually a fucking coffin in here! Holy shit, vampire confirmed! I have to get that thing open and see if I can get footage of him. It's gotta be that one janitor with the eye patch. That dude gives everybody the creeps.
Sam tries to open the coffin, but it is locked. Determined to prove the vampire's existence, Sam grabs a pry bar from the corner of the room and breaks the lock to the coffin. Immediately, black smoke begins to seep out before the lid is blown off, slamming into Sam and sending him flying into the far wall. Dazed, Sam manages to shove off the lid before witnessing the horror that stepped from the container. A humanoid figure with horns growing out of its dark, discolored skin sets a heavy foot on the floor. It rose from the coffin where its horns nearly scraped the ceiling before approaching Sam.
Now's my chance. Vampire Slayer status incoming.
Sam rushes toward the monster, stake in hand. It snaps uselessly against the creature's rough skin. The creature barely notices. It grabs the helpless boy by his throat and lifts him to the air with a single arm.
Did you release me from my bonds, boy?
Looking the boy up and down, the creature brought its face close to Sam's and sniffed him like a wild animal.
Quite the useful little thing. I had no idea the seal was so vulnerable from the outside. As reward for freeing me, I think I will let you keep your life. Come with me, boy. I have more uses for you to come.
It sets him down to his feet and begins walking to the corner of the room. It kneels down before striking the floor with its fist, punching a hole through the ground. Flexing its muscles, the mysterious monster rips the floor apart, pulling an iron door out from under the concrete deck. A tunnel with cobbled stone stairs heading down appears when the dust settles. The being leads Sam down below.
I am sure you understand what will happen if you try to escape. Yes. Good. Now follow along.
The stairs seemed endless as the pair progressed further into the darkness below. The light of the lair above was swiftly swallowed up. A damp smell of mold and mildew made Sam's eyes water as a chill in the air stung his cheeks. Sam pulled out his phone to shine a light, but his full battery a few minutes ago was now dead.
Excuse me, Mrs. Sir? I'm not sure what to call you, and I'm having trouble seeing the steps. Do you have a flashlight or something?
Or something. Your kind often call me Scarecrow. I believe that name should be comprehensible enough to you, little maggot. My true name would not be.
Scarecrow conjures up a purple flame in its hand with a snap of its fingers. The light illuminating its face reveals bright purple eyes surrounded by black where the usual whites of the eyes are.
Mortals? So, you aren't a human? I knew it! I knew there were monsters or vampires or something! I knew the school was haunted!
Scarecrow grins, revealing jagged, shark-like teeth.
You don't know the half of it.
Scarecrow turns and continues down to the menacing darkness. When they reach the bottom of the staircase, the purple flame illuminates a large stone door with Enochian sigils carved in a circular pattern. In the middle of the circle, there is a hole the size of a fist that immediately sends shivers down Sam's spine. Scarecrow pauses in front of the door and takes a deep breath of anticipation.
At last.
At last what?
My brothers and sisters have been imprisoned here for centuries. After all this time, I can free them from their bonds, and you are the key.
Key? How am I a key? That doesn't make any sense.
You see, the seal binding my kin can only be undone with the blood of a pure soul. An innocent virgin, if you will.
I'm not a virgin. I've done, a lot of stuff with girls, man. You've, no idea who you're talking to.
You can't lie to me, boy. I can smell it on you. The closest you have been to a woman was a motherly kiss on the cheek. I know the truth.
Fine. You got me. But what are you going to do to me? Are you going to kill me?
Oh, but of course not. I promised to let you live, didn't I? I just need you to give some blood to the seal. Place your hand in the crevice on the door. There will be a slight prick, and the seal will be lifted, releasing my kin. Then, and only then, will I let you leave.
Okay. So all I need to do is stick my hand in that terrifyingly ominous hole, and I can leave?
That is correct.
Shaking like a leaf, Sam forces his leaden legs forward, one after the other, to the door. After looking back to a very encouraging Scarecrow, Sam begrudgingly raises his quivering hand to the hole and places it inside. Sam unconsciously holds his breath in suspense while the pounding of his heart drowns out all other noise. Then it came. A prick is often used to describe something similar to a needle at the doctor's office. What came instead was a feeling he never knew was possible. Something pierced straight through his hand. He panicked and tried to pull it out, but whatever just stabbed him was keeping him in place. As Sam screams in agony, blood begins to spill from the hole, following a groove that leads the red stream to the Enochian carvings. When the blood touches the bottom carving, the mark glows crimson red before the blood continues to travel from sigil to sigil. Once the circle fills to the top with Sam's blood, the force keeping his hand in place lifts as the boy crashes to the floor. He looks at his hand, mostly fine aside from a small hole punched through the center. His face grows pale as his sight fills with spots and consciousness almost leaves his body. Scarecrow grabs him by the back of the shirt before he collapses.
I am not done with you, boy. There is more work for you ahead.
Scarecrow moves past the swaying boy to the door, the crimson glow bathing him in red. The door slowly grinds open along the stone floor with a rumble before thudding against the wall. Scarecrow takes a deep breath before dragging Sam into the next room. Inside, there is a simple pillar that holds up a stone tablet. Sam's vision blurs in and out, but he is able to see similar runes carved into it. All around the pillar on the floor are more runes which light up, bathing the room in a soft red glow.
Yes. Go on, child. I require the tablet. Fetch it for me.
Sam woozily steps into the circle of runes and grabs the heavy stone tablet. He struggles to lift it with his hand wounded, but manages to get it to the edge of the circle where Scarecrow snatches it away.
No. On your knees, boy. There is one last thing I need from you.
Scarecrow grins with bloodlust in its eyes as it walks behind Sam. Scarecrow's large claw grips Sam's shoulder tightly, enough to draw blood as the nails dig into his shoulder.
This is going to be quite unpleasant for you. Do your best to keep your mouth shut. In the meantime, I don't like squealers.
Sam goes into shock from the fear and falls limp. Scarecrow begins speaking a demonic language as it carves into the flesh of the boy's back. With a massive explosion of malice and demonic energy, shadows rush from the seal to Sam's back. An unholy choir of demonic voices scream, flying out in all directions. The unconscious Sam is swallowed by the demonic tidal wave, shadows seeping into his wounds before eventually subsiding.
Hey. Hey! Kid! Wake up!
Sam finds himself being shaken aggressively. As his eyes open to his surroundings, he sees a familiar face. A woman Sam had seen at school often. One of the janitors. She always seemed so serious for someone cleaning toilets for a living.
What happened?
Do you realize what you have done?
What do you mean?
What do I mean? What do I mean? Are you seriously asking me that? You could have released a horde of some of the worst demons to exist across history. Who do you serve? The devil himself? Tell me who sent you!
I have no idea what you're talking about. I was dragged down here by some monster and forced to stick my hand in a hole in the door.
Sam suddenly panics and looks at his hand, but it is completely normal. Not a scratch to be found. The janitor studies Sam's face, determining that the boy is telling the truth. She sighs in frustration.
How could this have happened? I need to tell the others.
She turns the tablet over in her hands carefully.
Well, this looks like it's intact. But you could have let out a demon. Whatever. We need to find Grizz.
Did you say demon? Like the kind from The Exorcist? That's so cool.
The janitor's eyebrow furrows in irritation. She scoffs at the starry-eyed boy before responding.
No, it's not cool. And the real things are worse. Much worse. Think of the worst possible death that your hormone-saturated brain can cook up. That is an easy, breezy morning compared to what they will do to you.
Easy, breezy, beautiful?
What?
Nothing.
The pair make their way back up the stairs to the lair. There isn't much noise other than the occasional water drop echoing through the tunnel. The musty mold and mildew was now rancid with the scent of sulfur and decay.
Well, what's your name, kid? I mean, I've seen you around school, but, I'm not in the business of learning every one of your stupid names. I'm Vicky.
I'm Sam, Evans. Sam Evans.
Sam? Well then, Sam, pray tell, what were you doing down there in the first place?
I told you. I was forced by that vampire. I mean, demon. Against my will, I might add.
And where did it apprehend you? The school? This late at night? What reason did you have for being on the grounds at this time, huh?
Okay. I'll come clean. Just don't make me clean toilets. I came to slay the vampire in locker 666, so everyone would stop thinking I'm crazy. It caught me before I got a chance to kill it.
Climbing out of the opening Scarecrow created, they walk toward the door out of the lair. Just as they reach it, an intimidating figure darkens the doorway.
Tell me what the hell happened down there, and tell me right now.
Oh, yes, sir. I found this kid down by the altar. But, the tablet looks fine, though. Right?
Grizz snatches the tablet from her hand and examines it. He frowns, his good eye searching for clues, but finding little except traces of demonic energy.
Something's off. Something's wrong. You, kid, come here.
Sam uneasily moves towards the old man. He'd always given everyone at school the willies. He only has one eye. The other side of his face was covered by a thick leather eye patch. He looked like a man carved from stone. All of his features were cut deep into his face.
Come closer, kid. I gotta look you over with my good eye. Something's off about you, too. You stink like demon shit, but there's nothing on you. And... oh, god damn it, Vicky, did that motherfucker get out of his cage?
What? No. Well, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I think the kid must have opened it while I was sleeping because I woke up down by the altar, okay? I was standing, I know. Okay. Sir? Where did the kid go?
They hear a noise in the hallway and burst through the doorway. They see something that should not be. A demon holding Sam against the lockers, breathing deeply and muttering its demon language.
You goddamn son of a bitch. Drop that kid right now. Do you know who you're fucking with? We're the Custodians.
Custodians, Episode 1, Hell Breaks Loose. Created by Michael Newton. Written by C.R. Foster and Michael Newton. Starring Dane Petersen as the narrator. C.R. Foster as Sam. Taylor Johnson as Scarecrow and Vicky. and Nels Gross as Grizz. With music by Nels Gross. Audio engineering by Michael Newton and Nels Gross. With cover art by MaggieVO. And special thanks to the Hellscape Council for creative input and support.